I am a spender. How do I break my spending habit? Can you give me some tips? Give me your 1, 2, 3 magic tips.
Okay, so number one would be visualize something that you want, maybe the way you can live your life, or something you want to buy that you can't afford at the moment. That will, when you're struggling to spend less, this is a picture you'll bring into your mind that will motivate you. That'd be my number one tip. Number two would be to make a note of everything you spend. I mean, this sounds very tedious, but there are some good apps for this these days. Things you can download straight from the App Store on Android phone or iOS that will record all of your spending for you.
Give me the apps. Which apps?
So I like Monzo Bank or Starling Bank. They're two UK FCA licensed banks that are internet-only banks and have a fantastic app for this. There's third-party apps. I know one called YNAB is an American app, but they have a UK version that you have to give it permission to give your bank permission to send information to it, and it will break down your spending for you. So my third tip would be to, at the end of every month, just set aside just half an hour just to go through the information that these apps spit out. Usually it's a pie chart, something like this. Look at where you're spending a lot of your money. And you'll find some items, and I use the example of coffee a lot because it's something that, for me personally, I notice I spend a lot on, but for other people maybe is beer, or even more constructive things, maybe books, magazines, could be anything. Find out what these are, and then that tip number one, bring that image back into your mind. Think, do I really want this thing, the coffee, the beer, 25 books in a month, as much as I want what I'm trying to achieve by saving and spending less? That's my 3 tips.
Man, I like it. I like it. What about those apps? Are they free? You said Monzo Bank. Are they free?
Yeah, so Monzo Bank and Starling Bank, they're both completely free. As I said, they are UK bank accounts, so they're competitors to the main high street banks. But they're developed specifically to be online only, with the idea to make saving easier and budgeting a little easier. I've been using Monzo Bank myself for maybe a year now, and certainly I've found it's helped me keep track of my spending and my behavior with what I spend.
That bank is fairly new in the market.
Yes, they've been around, I think, for maybe 2 years, but they only got their banking license maybe 6 to 9 months ago. Before that, they were operating as a kind of cash card type thing, similar to Revolut, if you've heard of Revolut.
Exactly.
So Monzo was very, very similar to Revolut about a year ago, but then they attained a banking license, and now they are a bank.
Right, interesting. Do they have a high street shops?
No, so it's all online only. And even, which may not be suitable for some people, they don't have a phone number. So the only way you can speak to someone that works at the bank is through the instant messaging service through the bank app. But again, I've used it multiple times now, and I've been very happy with it.
Okay, that's very good. So as far as I understand, these people are cutting costs. They don't have high street branches. So what do they offer in return to attract you and and get you as a client? So what is that extra thing they offer, which HSBC doesn't offer, for example?
So the main thing for me was the budgeting software on there. So there's 2 things. There's one is the way it records what you spend and breaks it down into various categories. So this is quite good for monitoring each month. But also, I suppose like most people these days, a lot of my spending is done rather than with cash, directly with my card. So I'll use the chip and pin or the contactless. And you may have noticed yourself, if you spend something on your debit card or your credit card, and then you check your balance, it doesn't come off the balance straight away. Maybe it's taking 2 days, 3 days. So it doesn't give a true indication of how much you've got left. Whereas that's something that's a little different with Monzo as well. As soon as you spend something on your card, it removes it from your bank account straight away. So I've always got quite clear visibility of how much I've got left to spend in the month, which is good for me, because I always used to get to a point where I look at my bank, I think I've got £300 left, and then I'll spend some money and think, forget that I've already spent some money that's just not come out of the account yet.